We're always aware. We are always aware of something. Something is always taking up our focus, our concentration, our scope of vision and sound. We often block out so much of our vision and sound, and we focus on one little thing, or we even become completely lost in our thoughts. But mindfulness is more about aware of our awareness. Is it jumping around chaotically? Is it not able to focus on one thing? Is it obsessing over something negative? Is it making our thoughts into the biggest thing in the world and we literally cannot see what's right in front of us? So we're always aware of something, but we're not always mindful that we're unaware of other things, or we're not always mindful of ourselves in the moment. And this is where we lose ourselves to temper, anger, and oftentimes making mistakes or even acting in ways we later regret. So simply staying present with all of those things that come up and practicing that over time and developing that skill allows us to focus on not getting the last word in an argument, not telling someone off to feel better in the moment, but actually what will nourish a relationship so that it can blossom in the future? What will create the most long-term good for ourselves now and in the future? Not just what'll feel good right now. And that is another way we can expand our consciousness, expand our mindfulness, so that we are living a great life and we don't just wake up one day going, how did I get here? Mindfulness is the quality of our awareness. And more specifically, it is awareness of our awareness as we are engaging with this world. So it takes our normally very limited perspective and it expands it to encapsulate the perspective itself. So we become aware of how we create a situation. And the more that we heighten our awareness of our feelings, our thoughts, our biases, our baggage, our past, and how we're bringing all of this to a situation, as well as subtle things like the energy another person is bringing to a situation and what they are really communicating underneath their words. Sometimes people are lashing out and inside they're really screaming in pain and hurt. And so the more we expand our awareness, our consciousness, become mindful of these subtle sensations, these subtle energies, these many layers of meaning that are happening at all times, instead of latching onto one and jumping to conclusions, we are able to stay that centered, calm witness. And we don't have to react mindlessly, and we can react mindfully. The first step to mindfulness and making it a habit is the same first step with making any new habit. And that is to keep it top of mind as much as we can throughout our day and our lives. Meditation is one tool for blocking out all the distractions and committing ourselves to practicing nothing but mindfulness, to just focus on one thing without distractions, whether it's the breath or your thoughts or a mantra or a candle or a crystal or whatever is in front of you. And just becoming mindful of this present moment and staying with that the best we can. Beyond that, it is to, throughout the day, take conscious breaths, to notice your thoughts, to notice how you're breathing when you're scrolling social media, to notice any tension arising in your body when you're engaged in work or in an argument with someone. And just to keep that present moment awareness top of mind, to realize that this is the most important thing we can do in our lives, that when we make mindfulness the habit, every aspect of life improves. We can become grateful for the infinite blessings in our lives that are happening all the time. And we can recognize that those thoughts that are the sole responsibility for our misery, that only in our brain does suffering occur and nowhere else, we can recognize that they are so small in comparison to the vast expansiveness of this beautiful, peaceful, perfect present moment. And this moment is always peaceful. And sometimes there's a moment of chaos. But the second we are reacting to that chaos, it's already over and in the past. And we are living in our heads, creating misery over something that no longer exists. All reaction is to something that is in the past. And this is where reality is. Everything else is just fantasy, imagination, and illusion. And so mindfulness is simply committing to living a true and peaceful life. And only when we can truly look at reality and see it and marvel in it, does life truly come alive, and instead of living like we are in a dream. And that's what mindfulness or awakening is all about.